Hello YouTube, my name is Blake and welcome to Break F1. I'm an ex-Formula 1 engineer with over 10 years of experience in vehicle dynamics, trackside performance engineering, and simulator performance engineering. This channel is all about sharing my experiences and insight into the world of Formula 1 with you. Last week was my first race live stream debrief over on Twitch. If you want to get involved in the next one, do be sure to drop me a follow over there. I've left a link in the description below. This session ended up being more about a loose Q&A about the Jeddah Grand Prix and a little bit of stuff about Formula 1, but I wanted to post a condensed version for anybody that missed the live stream. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here's a short video of anybody that doesn't subscribe.
Hi, I'm stupid.
I'll see you on Twitch next week, either way.
Question for you both. Is Formula 1 driving today too complicated?
No, the answer is no. Formula 1 driving today is not too complicated. It's just a skill gap. Also, the drivers have nothing to do with starting the car now. Literally, the drivers, the technicians put the car into start mode, and the drivers go, and it's on. So, yeah, I don't think Formula 1 cars are too complicated. There's a huge skill gap in understanding the systems and everything else. The cars are technically advanced. The drivers have a lot of support. They need to know what they're doing. The wheels are complicated, but with those complications, you have a lot of flexibility that the drivers can use to their advantage. So a driver that has a lot of capacity to absorb what's actually going on with the car and understands all of his control systems, such as his brake balance, his diff, and his engine braking, that's pretty massive. Can't Mercedes just upgrade their power unit to last year? I don't think so. Well, I'm sure they could upgrade their power unit, but probably the main issue with their power unit is the adaptations and changes they've made to cope with the E10 fuel. Latifi will not win the world championship. Latifi may have some way an impact on the championship again this year, but I'm not going to say that. Do F1 engineers get paid a lot? That's all right. Yeah, but Will, I'm not thinking that's the one, maybe. And also, unfortunately, Ricardo and Lando fans, probably this is not his year. What's your view on drivers paying for F1 seat? There's no way around it, brother. Formula 1 is in the entertainment and money-making business. If a driver shows up and he's decent and he's got some bills, he's got some cash bags, you're taking those cash bags because those cash bags help you develop a better car, better facilities, blah, 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 everything else. Dirk says, a talking point I have in my chat, would love your thoughts. Your opinion on why Russell has a better handle of his car than Hamilton? That's a great question, Dirk, and I could not even say. I feel like Lewis has enough experience under his belt to cope with very adverse effects. I think Lewis can drive something that's a piece of shit if he wanted to. Lewis is just that good. Redscape says it's because Russell's a better driver than Hamilton. I don't think so. WDC leading summer break, it's between Max and Leclerc. Max and Leclerc are the two for the season, guys. For sure. Because the car is an upgrade. Well, I mean, to be fair, Cobble, Russell has been driving a Williams, which has been notoriously difficult. The brakes are dog shit on that car, from what I've heard. The car is probably not great. You know, he's been driving a very difficult car to drive, and he's coming to this Mercedes, which is probably down a little bit on power, but probably sorted from a chassis point of view. Nah, the fact that Benato's saying the cars are easy for F2 drivers, like F2 cars are so much different. Dirk, that's a spectacular speculation, bro. That is, yeah, like that. That's pretty sound. I'd like to see later in the season, maybe, Dirk, we'll get some more insight on that, bro. How long do you think if Mercedes have a genuine power unit issue, how to get a job? Honestly, make sure your CV looks good and enticing. You are competing with, whenever there's a graduate position going out, there are hundreds of CVs. I've looked through graduate CV stacks, right? It's hard. You have to stand out. Your CV has to look good. You have to have good marks. You have to have interesting things. You have to be doing stuff outside of university. Otherwise, I'm not very interested in looking at your CV. In my old job, if that makes sense. I think the takeaways from the week, let's do this. The takeaways from the weekend are Red Bull good, Ferrari good, still some reliability issues, which are impacting a lot of teams. Mercedes power units in general probably fucked for now, and they've got a little bit of work to do. Russell not looking too bad. Hamilton struggling a bit. And Renault, thereabouts. So, hey, what are we saying real quick? What are we saying about Alonso and, what's his name? Fuck, it slipped my mind.
Bruh.
Alonso and Ocon. Yeah. Super Llama, was Verstappen easy to work with? Very easy to work with. Checo champion? He's a great dude and he deserves it, but Max is a fucking demon. It was a lovely battle. I think it was a little bit Deft thoughts on the proposed 30 races season in the future? Way too many, right? Way too fucking many. Anybody that does that is just a cash grabbing dingleberry. It's not sustainable for the teams. If they want to do more races, they need to hire more personnel, which means a huge change to the cost cap. So for anybody that's new to the stream, a link right there is our Discord server. And I'm going to use the Discord to help structure the F1 like debriefs and chats in the future. So rather than just like scatter firing and just being like completely lost deer in the headlights, I'll post something and we'll have you guys put the questions forward. Then everybody will upvote the topics, and I'll actually do some work Sunday night after the race and actually properly prepare for this. Right, we had a good question. I'm going to answer this one finally because I've had this. You guys have seen it like asked 3 times and I've ignored it every time. I don't know why. Is it because I'm toxic, guys? Poppy Swift asks, what exactly does a performance engineer do? A performance engineer is probably similar to a data engineer. So you do a lot of data analysis. You'll be doing driver feedback and everything else. But in Formula One, they also do a lot more. Performance engineers often do fueling strategy, be it for qualifying or the race. Also, the performance engineer will spend a lot of time looking at optimizing the tools such as the brake balance, the diff, engine braking. So tuning all of that, working with the driver, coming up, if you hear them like using like magic switches and stuff like that, that'll be the performance engineer looking at the data, talking with the drivers, saying, okay, what do you need here for this corner? Okay, we need a bit more rearwards brake balance and everything else. Yeah, and then back at the factory, you'll be doing a lot of performance analysis, looking at stuff, collaborating with vehicle dynamics, collaborating with aero, talking with the race engineer, controls engineers, the engine engineers to get the most out of it, looking at energy deployment. Like, no, you don't tell the drivers how to drive, but you're looking at stuff between how the drivers are driving and offering insight which might help them. Did you get to work with Max? Yeah, Peter, I was Max's performance engineer at the track in 16 and 17. The Lawler says, how much time could shifting the brake balance gain? It depends massively. It depends. Like, say you're going into a corner and like you've got like a lot of like medium speed corners, then you've got one corner which is a low speed corner, and you've got a lot of front locking when you go into it. Then you'll have to run some rearwards brake balance. You could do a switch change, a map change, a toggle. You could add engine braking depending on where it is in the corner. What made you leave F1 and what do you do now? I am a full-time streamer and content creator. I left F1 because I'd done it for so long and I just got tired of it and I wanted to do something different. And life is too short to do the same thing and have questions about, oh, should I have done that? Yeah, I have friends for engineers at other teams. Most of the time when you make friends at other teams, it's because you worked with them and they've left. It really does seem like Perez is naturally gifted when it comes to the field that goes beyond strategy. I agree. And that is why I think he outperformed Hülkenberg in the same car often, is that aspect of his abilities, which is just like, I think anybody could have seen that from the outside. Do you know what teams look at to know how much tire they have left? Usually they look at the tire temperatures. They tend to drop off with wear. Yeah, but usually they look at, they'll have wear prediction models as well as looking at the carcass temperatures and how much energy they put into them. The medium, hard and soft tires is often, it could be a difference between construction and compound. I think they're all one construction now. The compounds are just different. If you've got any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, I'd love to know what kind of content you'd like to see on this channel about Formula One.